Rising protocols. First thing that we do when we wake up in the morning, what is the protocol? What does our rise look like? Are we in sync with the sun and the moon? Are we in sync with the natural rhythms of nature? Are we in sync? Are we in tune? Are we harmonizing to the natural ways of nature, both within and without? I think these are important questions. Here is the rising protocol that I strive to tune myself to each day. First things first, this mind right here, this brain. Wake it up first. Most of us in this day and age have two brains. We have a set of two brains. 1 second. All right, so we've got this brain right up here that rests within the skull of the human body. And then many of us in this day and age have this second brain right here. This here is a cell phone. This is old school. However, many of us have a smartphone, which is essentially a supercomputer, right? A supercomputer. Even though this supercomputer is incredibly efficient and we can do many things with it, we mustn't forget that this supercomputer is even more super, right? It's been around a lot longer than the little cell phones that we've got in our pockets, right? And when we realize the utmost power and abundance that resides within this mind here, that resides within the power of this brain when it's connected to the heart and our will, we can begin to see more clearly the importance of waking up and tuning this brain first and foremost before going to this thing right away in the morning. And so what does that look like? That means waking up, allowing your mind to wake up, and getting somewhere where there's fresh air and oxygen, because what that is doing is it is releasing any stagnation up here and inviting in fresh new air, new energy, and circulating the oxygen through the brain, right? And that's the process of waking it up. You gotta wake it up. Okay, so first things first, we could also say, do not open this thing up first thing in the morning, right? This thing should be turned off completely when you go to bed. It should be off completely when you wake up. This should not even be on your mind at all when you wake up, if you're looking to optimize your rest, your recovery, and your wakefulness for the day ahead. At least those are the practices that I take for myself. This thing is not on my mind first thing in the morning. It is not on my mind when I go to bed. It is completely off. It is not in my bedroom. Those are the protocols that I take regarding this brain and this brain here, and we'll wrap this around full circle at the end of the video. So that's first things first. Fresh air, circulation, releasing stagnation, and inviting in movement. Second thing, movement. Waking up the nerves, exercise, doing exercise, really. Getting outside, going for a walk, viewing the beauty of nature and recognizing the beauty all around us. When we do that, naturally, we're recognizing, because this life is it's a fractal. Life is fractal in nature. So when we view beauty in the macrocosm, we're also viewing beauty in the microcosm, which is within ourselves. This is just, it goes along the lines of meditation, mindfulness, all that. So when we do that and we get outside first thing in the morning, we wake up the brain, we get new oxygen, new circulation going, new energies flowing, and we observe beauty, and we observe natural structures, natural forms, natural colors, natural light. It is good to get the natural sunlight on our face, right? The sun is a cleansing and purifying energy. So to be able to do that and invite new energy into us is a good way of detoxifying, cleansing, purifying, and energizing. And so doing these things, taking these protocols first thing in the morning, is a good way of inviting the newness of the day into our lives. Waking up the nerves, the body, and the mind. Okay. So then the third thing after waking up the mind, waking up the body, is to nourish the body and the mind and the soul. There's many different levels of nourishment. Of course, doing these things are nourishment in of itself. Exercise is nourishing the body. Oxygen is nourishing the mind and the body. And then, of course, getting good fluids in the body first thing in the morning too is very important. Something warm. Warm fluids are good first thing in the morning. Apple cider vinegar every single morning is a good thing to do. Lemon or lime water. I recently heard that lemon is warming and lime is cooling. Thank you, Candace, for that insight. So a little bit of lemon water, warm lemon water first thing in the morning, something to just activate the insides, to cleanse and purify the insides, to lubricate our body for the day is very important. And if you can, what I do is I strive to intake only liquids up until around noontime, around high noon. And then that will be my first meal of the day if I'm going to eat something that's heavier than just liquids. And this allows us to wake up. It allows me to wake up gradually rather than what I see in society. Oftentimes what I've seen is that people they'll wake up oftentimes to an alarm clock, sometimes not, but that alarm clock can be very jarring to the body. So if you can, find yourself a calming, relaxing alarm clock that wakes you up slowly, or something that's more quieter. Get the cell phone out of the room, out of your bedroom, and because that way you won't look at your phone first thing in the morning, right? Get this brain going before the second brain going, because how can we properly operate and navigate this when this brain isn't even going, right? It's like this first, this second, this is man-made, so we got to get in touch with our inner nature first. Yeah, and I mean, just like going to this, right, first thing in the morning, you're exposed to so much information, be it emails, texts, phone calls, internet, media, social media, this, that, the other. Save it for later after you've gone through these protocols and you've been able to enliven your mind, your body, and your soul. You've nourished yourself first, and you've found homeostasis and balance within. You've found your center point for the day. To me, these rising protocols are like a tuning fork for our mind, body, and our soul. And once we've tuned ourselves properly to the ways of nature and a natural frequency, resonating with ourself and with nature, then we can go ahead about our day and open up the second brain and do what we do. create what we create with these technological devices. But everything comes from within. That's the way that nature works. Everything comes from within. So getting ourselves right within each and every day, and then working our way outwards, I think is a good way to approach each new day. And when we just look at that, right, within this brain first, then this brain second, within this body first, other bodies second, just as a way of natural course. So yeah, I mean, those are the rising protocols, is to activate this brain first, second brain after. Fresh air circulation, releasing stagnation, inviting new energy. Movement, waking up the nerves, body, and the mind. Getting exercise, going for a walk, doing some jumping jacks. Get your bare feet on the earth. Nourishment, feeding the brain, oxygen, feeding the body, warm liquids, warm lemon water, warm apple cider vinegar first thing in the morning. And then you go about your day from there. So there it is. Some rising protocols from me. Take them up if you feel called to. Reach out to me with questions, comments, or any thoughts you might have on the topic. Rising protocols. There you go.